So good day everyone. My name is KennethC.Mañibo from BSIE 2201. So for today's video, I will going to do my computer-aided design subject exercises 2.3. So in this case, these are the figures that we are going to do. So and I hope that you will going to learn something from me. So for the disclaimer, I will going to use my own measurement in all the figures that we are going to do. So this is the first figure. So the first step is we're going to make a circle. So type C for command for circle and specify its first point and type 30. Then we are going to type L for command line and I have here 75. Next is we are going to make a straight line going right and type 60 for its measurement. So in this case, we are going just to connect this line up to this point and this line up to this point and type escape. So next is we are going to do this particular area. So in order to do that, type L again for command line and click this point and measure is 45. And then we're just going to connect again this line into this point and escape. The last step is we are going to make a line and type L for command line, click up to this point and just connect it to this point. And that's it. That is our figure number 1. Next is our figure number 2. So the first one we are going to do is make a polygon. In order to do that, we are going to type POL for polygon and specify its point. And we have here 6 sides, which is our hexagon, and specify its first point inscribed in circle. And measure 45. Next is we are going to rotate it. Type RO for rotate and click this point and make sure it is in 90-degree angle. Next is we are going to type L command line. Again, type L for command line. We are going to put some line here because it is our guide if we are going to put a circle inside. So next is we are going to make a circle, 2-point circle, and then this one up to this point. And then we are going to move this circle, type MO or M for move and make sure it is in the middle or in the guided area. That's it. And next step is we are going to copy the circle. Type CO for command for copy. And we're just going to connect it to this one and oops. We're just going to make it move because outside. Oh my gosh. And move again this one. By this time, we are going to erase this line. So type E, command erase, and this one. And that's it. That is our figure number 2. For our figure number 3, we are going to type L for command line and then specify its first point, and it measures 45. And then we are going to make a straight line again going right and 45. Next step is we are going to type L again for command line and measures 35, tab for our degree 22.5. Next is type L again for line and measures 45, tab 45 degree. Is type L for command line and measures 35, press tab, and 67.5 degree measurement. So by this time we are going to connect the lines. Type L, connect, and then we are going to array these. Type AR for array and polar array and click up this in the middle. And the items we have here, 4 items. Enter. So next is type L and we are going to connect lines again. So type L, just connect the lines in the edge of every corner. And that's it. That is our figure number 3. So I'm just going to move it. Next is our figure here. Figure 4. So the first step we are going to do is we're going to type C for command circle and specify its point, and it measures 50. And then we are going to offset this one, and in order to do that, type OF for offset and 5. And then we are going to make another circle, type C, specify its point, and it measures 20. By this time we are going to offset it again. Type OF for offset and measures 5 again. And then we are just going to move yeah. So by this time we are going to type MI for command for mirror. Just click this line and this, enter, and specify it at the center of the circle. So next is we are going to mirror again these circles. Type MI for mirror, enter, and point it at the center of the circle. Oops. We're going to mirror again. Type MI. Mirror. I'm sorry for the... So the next step is we are going to trim the excess line. In order to do that, type TR for trim. Next is this excess lines. Just click here and this one. Next is trim again. Next, lastly is we are going to trim again. And that's it. That is our figure number 4. Next figure is this one. In order to do that, the first step that we are going to do is type L for command line and specify its first point and measures 100. The right side measures 100 again. And measures 100 again. And we are just going to connect this line. Next is we are going to make a diagonal line inside the box. Next is we are going to offset. Type OF for command for offset, and we have 10. Escape. Next is we are going to trim the excess lines outside the box. In order to do that, type TR for command for trim and double tap the enter. Next step is we are going to make a diagonal line again. Command line. And we are going to offset. Type 10. So we are going to trim again the excess lines outside the box. Type TR for trim and double tap the enter. So the next step is we are going to trim some lines according to the figure. So trim that. Just make sure that you are going to follow the patterns in the figure in the right side. Just follow the figure in the right side. As you can see, we have here some pattern on how you will going to trim some lines inside the box. As you've noticed, is just in alternate. In order to do that, you'll just need some patience for trimming the lines. Next is we're just going to trim. It's a very long process of trimming. And that's it. That is our figure number 5. So the next is our figure number 6, the last figure. So we are going to type L for command line and specify its point, measures 50, and we are going to offset this line. Type 10. We're just going to have 6 lines. Next is we are going to make a circle. Type C for command for circle and just point it and measures 10. Next is type C again for command for circle. Point it here. By this time it is 20. Type C. This time it is 30. Type C again. Point it here. By this time it's 40. Next is type C again. Point it here and measures 50. So next is we are going to make a line. Type L for command line and just connect it here. Next is we are going to trim the excess lines. Type TR for trim and trim the excess lines. Next step is we are going to erase the lines. Click this line and type E for command for erase. Next step, we are going to array this figure. Type AR array and polar array and click it here and click items for items and enter. And that's it. That is our figure number 6. So we are just going to move the figure's accordance to the figure in the right side. Just going to make it more. And that's it. That is our figure number 6 and that is our exercise number 3. And I hope that you learned something from this video, and thank you and goodbye.